you guys are doing great. Welcome to the Sapphire Spider Oracle channel. If it's your first time being here, thanks so much for stopping in. And if you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. This is the last batch of tarot readings I'm getting in for 2021, at least for all the zodiac signs. I might try and put a little pick a pile in there, but we'll see. But definitely the last batch of the full zodiac readings. I brought some runes in here for you guys today as a little treat. And I've got the Wildwood Tarot, and I got all these natural, I mean, all crystals are natural, but I'm just saying like very raw natural stones, along with this really nice Malachite pyramid, great for the heart chakra. And let's just get started with your tarot reading. So we're focusing on like whatever messages or loose ends we need to tie up for 2021. Like, what do you need to hear? What do you need to know? What do you need to do to wrap up 2021, right? That's what this reading is about, essentially. So let's get started. Just said the number 5 for you guys. Cards acting a little squirrely. We're gonna do it like this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. Or we can flip that card over. Does it want to stay? Yes, it wants to stay. Someone's playing some games that said you can only have 5 cards in your hand. You might be playing like some Uno or something. Aquarius. So let's start with this card then, and we'll move on to these other ones. All right. We've got a Knight of Stones, which is a horse in this deck. And in this deck, it's particularly talking about employment. It's talking about like getting the job done, treading forward, dependability and stability in that way. A horse is very grounded, like they have 4 feet on the ground, right? It was just talking about photography though, and time-lapse, and talking about how like actually when a horse is galloping, they have all 4 feet off the ground at one point. That's not necessarily this horse at this moment. It was just saying though that essentially horses most of the time have all of their feet on the ground, almost always. And they just, I mean, horses are known for work and war and all kinds of hard tasks. They work on the farm, right? So there's very much this work energy coming through here with this Knight of Stones. That might be what you are very much focused on at this time, Aquarius. And if you're not just focused on work, then it's definitely about finances, a bit of territory, not like guarding your territory. It's like establishing your footing, establishing your territory, right? Establishing good, solid ground. It's about a little bit of travel, some slow, steady, stable travel, not like just flying off the seat of your pants. It's definitely about getting some things done. So, said you are in go mode is what it just said, Aquarius. Sorry, my little tablecloth under here is being crazy. Okay, so you're in go mode right now. That's the main message. Can you see these? Yes. Might move them up a little bit though so we can see some more. All right. And so give them all. And you might be watching Elf too, because it just gave this whole thing to me, like his tale about his journey through the Lincoln Tunnel and stuff like that. So you're definitely doing some holiday stuff. But you got some heavy cards in here, Aquarius. Okay. All right, I see that. Okay, it said these cards are all the stuff that's getting pushed out of this vessel, which is you. Okay, you are going through a rebirth right now, Aquarius. You are this giant vessel. Now, there's magic vessels above it that are filling it with water. And you can kind of consider that like the spiritual waters of life, or life, the universe, just filling you up with new knowledge, new things, new jobs, new pastimes, new things to do, like new knowledge, anything that you could think of. Definitely things that are supposed to make you happy can lead to future happiness. But this vessel is full, okay? Which means the water is going to overflow. Now, this is a normal process. Our energy flows into other people's cups when we give to them, when we work with them, when we do things with them, and then their energy overflows to help other people. It's literally giving me the work vibe right now, Aquarius. It's talking about how, like, if your boss treats you well, then you overflow into your customers. The customers overflow back into your pockets, back into the store. Everybody's happy and everything keeps moving on, right? That's the ideal flow. The same process happens with negative energies in our body when we need to get rid of negative aspects of our energy or things in our life. The universe is going to start sending things your way to fill you up until you're so full that you have to push the rest out of your life, because you simply cannot contain everything that the universe is sending to you. And you can't possibly fill up everybody else's cup if you're trying to focus on yourself. And that's where the main message coming through right now, Aquarius, is we got to push some things out. And it's saying push. So this isn't a passive thing. And that's where I'm really getting the sense, Aquarius, that like you really feeling this process right now. Like, whoop, like it's go time and you're staying grounded. But to be quite honest, it feels like you kind of going through it right now, Aquarius. You are pushing a lot of things out of your body energetically. So what are we pushing out for this rebirth? We're pushing out frustration. If you're feeling unfocused, like you can't quite hit your target, no matter how hard you try, maybe you're not meant to hit that target, okay? Also, it could just be that you're being redirected at this time. Maybe you're going for something that's a little small when you could be going for something big. Notice how much bigger the horse is than this goat. And these arrows are flying up to the horse. Oh, it just gave me the phrase, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars, right? And that's kind of what it's giving me right here. So you've been very frustrated. You've been shooting for something, and you've possibly been missing. Maybe you're meant to miss, or maybe you are meant to hit an even bigger target. Maybe you're just unfocused. Take it how it resonates with you. But whichever way it is, whether it's just you being unfocused, you being distracted, you not channeling your energy correctly, or the universe kind of blocking you, take that as a sign for what it is, right? Push that frustration out of your body. Frustration is an emotion and an energy that's there to point out something else to you. What is this pointing out to you? Maybe you're not grounded enough. Like I was saying, like all the feet are on the ground. Look at all these feet up in the air. You have, thank you, Spirit. That's what it's saying. You haven't been grounded enough. It's saying you've been very much in your Aquarius energy, which Aquarius is an air sign. You've been very much all up in your head about something. You haven't grounded those thoughts into fully grounded action. And look how much heavier and more plodding this horse is than this goat. Aquarius, it just flipped the tables there. And it was saying maybe you're this, and wow, Aquarius. Wow, Aquarius, it totally just flipped the tables a bit too. It just said like maybe you're the goat and someone's been aiming at you and they've been missing you. Like almost like you're being hunted, okay? Almost like you're being hunted, Aquarius. Like someone is after you, I'm not necessarily getting the positive sense, like, you're such a good employee, we must have you. It's not like that. It's like someone's been after you a little bit, possibly, and you've managed to, just said scapegoat. You've been managing to, like, get through it and escape. And this has got you frustrated and nervous and flighty and all up in your head. Wow. So interesting. So some of you guys are being hunted and some of you guys are the hunter. Whichever way it applies, neither side of that energy is fully grounded. So, okay, so it just says, so step number 1 is to get grounded. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Knight of Stones. What it says, the first step is to get grounded. What actions are you going to take to either hit this target, or if you are the target, to continue avoiding these arrows? How are you going to ground your ideas into actual action? And what are you going to do with that? We then have the 8 of arrows. So lots of swords energy in here right now. You're definitely in the air suit. You're definitely in your mind. And we're definitely kind of struggling through this mental landscape. I think part of the reason why you haven't been able to fully ground your actions yet, Aquarius, is because part of you knows underneath that it's going to be a struggle. That's what's been keeping you jumping around in the air, like trying to move from one idea or one concept to the next. These arrows haven't landed and you haven't landed. Like, neither one of these things have landed at this point in time. You got to ground your actions if you're going to land anything, but you've been avoiding it because you know it's going to be a struggle. And I think you know that you have to do this alone. Look at most of these figures are on their own, okay? You know you're going to have to walk that path alone. And that's where, look at all these arrows that have totally missed this person, right? Look, okay. Woo, Aquarius, the message coming through today is direct and clear. Honey, you've already been on this path alone. You've already been on this path alone. And now is where it's really saying, like, you are definitely this horse, but you just haven't fully grounded everything yet. You haven't realized this because that's the whole thing. You've been in your mind space, this air suit, and you've been just moving, dodging, weaving, ducking, trudging. None of these arrows have landed. None of this is stuck. Holy crap, the messages are coming through so strong. And it's talking about now the strategy of, it's talking about the strategy that, like, people that are politicians and stuff like that use, where it's like you throw shit at the wall, as they say. And if you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it's eventually going to stick, right? And that's where the philosophy is that people bombard you with so much bullshit, which is not even factual or grounded. And eventually they throw so much shit at you that it sticks, right? Something sticks, something becomes true, something hits home, something actually wounds you or hits the target. That is the strategy that someone, I feel like, has been putting on you, Aquarius. That's the energy I'm getting, that someone's been putting that on you. They've been trying to throw shit on your name, throw shit at the wall, trying to get it to stick to you. They have not been able to hit you. They have missed you every single time. And I feel like you've been this goat and this person just trying to like get through this all. But notice how, and this is where it's weird too. The air suit, the arrows is down here and the groundedness is up higher. And usually I would think that you would swap those energies around. So that's where it's like, this is keeping you low. Having to constantly bob and weave in your own mind to avoid getting struck by someone else's painful words or thoughts or arrows to stay out of the shit that they're literally flinging at you. This has been keeping you low, and you've already been on this journey all by yourself. So if part of this debate, Aquarius, is about, well, I could ground my actions, but then I'll be all on my own. Honey, your spirit guides are telling you, you already been on this all by yourself, alone. And now as a booster comment, it just said, but you're very courageous. said you're afraid to keep going alone. But you've already been walking this path alone. So do you want to continue walking it in this way where you're dodging and hiding and walking through this cold ass snow and feeling really low? Or do you want to be a horse? And it just gave me that little animated movie Spirit, right? You want to be a free ass horse, just like galloping off to go do what you need to do, grounded within yourself and your decisions. Yes, you do. You want to be free like Spirit, the horse. The horse's name is literally Spirit, okay? You want to be a free spirit, Aquarius. Push that out. Push that out. And how do you do that too? Well, some of it is this 4 of arrows, which is rest. This implies that you need mental rest. This implies that there are dreams talking to you, Aquarius. You physically need rest. I don't think... This doesn't feel like you're pushing laziness out of your body. I don't think you've been lazy. I think you've needed rest. And maybe if you've especially been resting a lot and you're feeling like this is why you've been needing to rest a lot, because you've been mentally like, okay, just going through it. So you might have been resting a lot. And it just said depression. Part of it might be depression, okay? You've been resting a lot. But there's also a lot to be gained from dreams. Like our brain literally works on itself and heals itself while we're dreaming, right? And processes things. So you need to rest, Aquarius. This is part of the process of pushing this stuff out. And in the process of resting, you're going to push any indecision and laziness out too. Because that's the whole thing. This butterfly is that dream symbol. It's going to bring you the transformation you need. So you need that mental rest. You need to rest. You got to get out of this energy here. You have to. And if you aren't ready to ground yourself yet, then you definitely need to rest. Okay? We then have the Guardian over here, which is the Devil in this deck. And it's a big bear skeleton with a big dark door behind it. And the thing is about this card, you have to face this Guardian and go through that door back there to go on to the next step of your journey. And this feels like the final push, like the final thing we're pushing out of your vessel. And it just said like this is in the bottom of your vessel, like almost like in the bottom of your cup. Like if you were drinking out of this, like you like, oh, there's something in the bottom there, right? Okay. For some of you guys, it's talking about how like sometimes you have to hit that mental rock bottom in order to discover that devil within you. Now this is not, it's okay, it just said don't get it twisted, because this message has gone a couple of different ways. Straight up, Aquarius, you are being rebirthed at this time. It feels like someone's been hunting you, trying to throw shit on your name, been working really hard to do so, and has missed every single time. But are you going to stand there and allow them to continue shooting at you? No. You might not know how to ground yourself yet, but that is the priority that we need to get to. The first step in doing so is resting. And in the process of resting your mind, not only do you give up this energy here, you may receive something kind of magical in your dreams that helps show you the way to transform and face this devil within. Now, if this is a person literally that's been after you, then they're clearly this card. But remember that we keep devils in our life because they make our own devils happy. So what devil are you keeping within yourself that is satisfied with this energy? That's the devil you need to get rid of. It's not saying you're bad, Aquarius. It's just talking about like addictions and things of that nature for the ego. Now you can be addicted to more than just drugs and alcohol and substances. You can be addicted to loneliness. You can be addicted to being a victim. You can be addicted to, you know, like doing things the hard way. You can be addicted to, there's things like that. And that's what I'm really getting the sense of. And that's where, like, you do have to recognize your own little inner darkness. It's not about being bad or evil. It's about, there's something within you. It just said codependent. There's something within you that is codependent at this time on some of this energy. And that might sound silly and ridiculous. And trust me, it's one of those things, like, you literally have to mentally and emotionally, spiritually work through some of these things sometimes. It's not like you're just going to magically overnight get the answer. Although here you might. Right? But this is the only major arcana card you have here. This is a major arcana card. This is what you are getting to. This is what's at the bottom of this vessel. This is what is officially getting pushed out, is this energy here. And it's called the Guardian because that's why it's saying codependent, and that's why it's saying, like, this is within you, because this is a devil guardian you have set up within yourself to keep yourself protected. And part of that protection, I think, is you didn't want to be alone. And that's where your spirit guides are like, you've already been alone. You've already been doing this all on your own. It's not about alone. It's about just kind of like standing up for yourself and being independent. And no, you're not going to have to be independent forever. I think that's what you're worried about, is like being alone and being independent forever or something like that, Aquarius. And it's just saying, like, you've already been on that journey. It can't get any worse than it already is. So why are you so dependent on continuing that cycle, this mental energy and this pain? That's the devil you've got to face down within yourself, because you are a free spirit, or you should be, Aquarius, and you should be grounded in that knowledge, in that wisdom, and that should get you moving forward. And that's what needs to happen. That's what this whole cycle is about. So especially if that message really resonated with you, Aquarius, then I'm telling you, that's what needs to happen. You're not alone. You've already been on it alone, though. So if that's what you're worried about, then you got to face whatever the codependent thing is inside of you about being alone, because you've already been doing it, okay? You've already been doing it. Let's pull around. Final message. Mix them up nice and good. All right. Rune for Aquarius. Issa. Ice. Yeah. Look at that. Look at all that snow down there. This can literally be talking about ice. But it can also refer to some other things. So, Issa, or ice, it represents calm, reflection, victory over obstacles, habits, vices, and expectations to be controlled, and resistance. And I actually want to just tap into my other book real quick that I have here and just kind of read, because I've read some other statements that might help clarify that a little bit more for you guys. So let me get that for you. Yeah, here we go. Translates literally to ice, which may seem, depending on the context, to be a neutral or even positive substance to modern people. But to the ancient people of Northern Europe, ice was useless and was more often than not an obstacle. Look at this card down here, y'all. As a representation of frozen water, Issa signifies a lack of movement, which is likely frustrating. There may be physical circumstances blocking your progress, a loss of energy, or mental blocks that you cannot see past in order to move forward. Issa also indicates delay, and it is best to accept that this is a reality in your current situation rather than pushing against it. Know that the sun will eventually return to melt the ice and allow the water to flow freely again. In the meantime, take advantage of this still static energy to practice focusing on the present moment. Meditation is highly useful now as it can help dissipate frustration. Whoop, look at that, frustration. And take your focus off things you can't control. Don't give up on your ambition or assume that a delay means it won't work out. If there's anything you can do to prepare for making the progress once it's become possible again, put your energy there. Instead, you might even find that you're better equipped to pursue your goal as a result. In the context of relationships, Issa can also point to emotional coldness between people. This could pertain to friendships, family relationships, or romantic partnerships. Affection may be lacking, communication may have come to a standstill, or a passionate romance may be cooling off. Arguments or conflicts are either present or forthcoming. Ask yourself if you've been open and demonstrative of your feelings for the person or people in question. If it is they who have closed themselves off, consider how you might approach reconnecting or rekindling the energy between you. Recognize, however, that in some situations, it may be best to let go and move on. The transparency of ice can also signify clarity, whether it comes to relationships or any other situation causing difficulty. Evaluating your circumstances from a cool, emotionally detached viewpoint can be helpful now, which is one positive aspect of Issa. You can use this rune for magical uses in maintaining the status quo, protection against unwanted energies or developments, and bringing clarity to a situation. So this is for sure the rune for you guys, Aquarius. That just spoke to this entire reading I was just talking about. So this is the rune for you guys, okay? This is the one you need to be working with for sure. And that's what I've got for you. I wish you many blessings. Take that rest. Take that meditation. If there is delays, if you're working through all of this, you're pushing all of this out, don't worry, you're going through rebirth. Don't worry, you're going to get here. You got to ground yourself. You got to push this out first. Gain that clarity. Take that time. Do that meditation. Do that inner work, Aquarius. Have a happy holidays. I wish you lots of joy and relief from this situation if that's what you need. And I hope to see you guys here on future readings. Thank you. Bye.